From developer and publisher Team 17 comes Killer Frequency, a first-person horror game that takes the form of a story-driven murder mystery walking simulator with puzzle aspects. Set in 1987 in the small town of Gallows Creek, players step into the shoes of Forrest Nash, a radio DJ who has moved from Chicago where he was a very big deal. It's implied throughout that he torpedoed his career somehow, and he's there to take on the job of late-night host for Gallows Creek's radio station. It sounds uneventful. And as the game begins, we see that the big city boy is struggling to fit in with small town life, bemoaning the lack of listeners and content he now has to provide to his producer Peggy. Tonight, it's a Guess the Scream competition, but before that electrifying event can get underway, a call comes in, and suddenly, Forest Night is about to get a whole lot more exciting.
Well, Leslie, I guess it must be a slow night for crime if you've got time to call in. What can we do for you?
Slow night? Forrest, I found a body. I need help.
Forrest, I recognize her voice. I'm pretty sure that actually is our 911 operator. I think this is real.
Peggy, I'm not going to be happy if this is a prank. I don't do prank segments on my shows. It's in my contract.
Forrest, I really don't think this is a prank.
Leslie, if you're telling the truth, you should report this to the sheriff. What was his name? Sheriff Andrews or whatever?
I'm at the sheriff's office right now.
Wait, what?
Sheriff Matthews is dead.
What? Sheriff?
The sheriff is dead, the deputy is unconscious, and the 911 dispatcher who found them is being chased by a masked villain who likes to whistle. Forced to run and get help from the next town over, all 911 calls will be routed through the radio station for the night, and it will be up to Forrest and Peggy to answer the calls and help those in need, which tonight it's going to be a lot of people. There's a killer on the loose, and it seems to relate to the story of a serial killer named the Whistling Man, who caused carnage in Gallows Creek many years before and disappeared without a trace. Has the Whistling Man returned to finish what he started, or will Forrest and Peggy be able to stop his rampage across town? It is Slasher 101 and plays out in gleefully fun and dark fashion. Think of any classic 80s slasher horror and you'll find the tropes present here. Although there may be none as obvious as Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, seeing as this game takes place on a radio station. Not only do you need to offer advice and give would-be victims possible solutions to their predicament, you've also got to do the duties of a radio host, play records, run ads, mess with a soundboard, and of course, take calls. There's a surprising amount to interact with, even though most have little effect on the story, aside from creating a more immersive environment. And it is a very immersive environment too. The radio station's surrounding rooms are delightfully 80s, and as the game progresses, more areas of it are explorable, which in turn helps uncover even more detail about the Whistling Man and the events that are causing chaos around Gallows Creek. Speaking of which, the majority of gameplay comes from the calls that require Forrest's help. Calls from a litany of characters, all voiced wonderfully. Immortal threat from the Whistling Man. Listen to them, offer words of comfort, then try and help solve their issue before they become another victim. This is where the puzzle aspect comes into play, and by using things around the station and, or paying attention, solutions that guarantee survival can be found.
This must be it. Final breath. My tiny selection grows.
For example, one woman on a jazz run needs help hot wiring a car to escape. One of the other shows the radio station has is car related, and with a bit of digging you can find step-by-step instructions on how to do this. Make sure you give her the right sequence though, otherwise the Whistling Man might be alerted and you'll have to listen to the sound of someone being slaughtered because of your mistake. It might sound quite heavy, especially as the game has a lot of potential victims that you can save or accidentally kill, but there's a tongue-in-cheek level of humour to things overall. In most cases, there is one or two that gets really dark. And you can really add your own level of blackness too, with some very dark responses at inappropriate times. I did find that playthrough quite amusing.
Please! No! You don't have to do this! Ah!
I think I'm gonna be sick.
I guess that's what love does. It makes us fall to pieces.
Don't, Forrest, okay? Don't.
It's not only a lot of fun to play, but it's also a really interesting story that keeps you hooked up right till the very end. When the killer is revealed, there's a twist and a delightful sequel bait epilogue. The perfect slasher story told through the medium of a unique gaming experience. It has lulls. The ad content sections are particularly dry, and there's not much replay value overall. But it is really rewarding and a memorable experience, provided you like slasher horror, and who doesn't?
What the? No way. This can't be happening. A call.
Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like to see more content like this, please consider hitting the subscribe button. It is gratefully appreciated. You can find us over at gbhbl.com, our full website where reviews, news and so much more goes up daily. We're also on all social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Threads, at gbhbl. Just search for gbhbl and you will find us out there. We also have merchandise on sale. You can access the shop via the website.